In the glittering world of Hollywood where stars shine bright and red carpets stretch endlessly, a new controversy is stirring headlines and conversations across the entertainment world this time. It involves not just the glamour of movie premieres or award speeches but a serious legal drama that has put one of the industry's most beloved couples, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, under intense public and legal scrutiny. It all began when a group of independent content creators, journalists, and legal commentators started reporting on ongoing issues surrounding a recent lawsuit, which initially seemed unrelated to the couple. However, as the story grew and details emerged, some content creators alleged that legal representatives connected to the power couple had attempted to suppress or silence their coverage. The claim was that these voices were being threatened with legal action, including cease and desist letters and even subpoena threats, in order to stop them from speaking out or sharing certain facts and analysis. According to several lawyers who have now stepped into the spotlight, the issue at hand is not merely about a legal disagreement, but about what they describe as a broader attempt to limit free speech and public participation in critical commentary. These lawyers have stated publicly that the tactics allegedly used reflect an effort to intimidate creators who rely on their platforms to express views and inform their audiences. Public records show that some creators who previously covered Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' legal involvements were suddenly quiet or removed content shortly after receiving formal legal threats. While some complied, others pushed back, refusing to delete videos or posts, citing fair use laws and the First Amendment. The legal documents now circulating online reveal a heated battle not just between individuals but between two powerful forces: the celebrity legal machinery and the grassroots creator community. The balance of influence is now being questioned, and many are asking whether celebrities with immense resources should be allowed to wield legal tools to silence critical or independent commentary. The power couple at the center of this controversy, Blake and Ryan, have built a reputation for being charming, funny, and supportive of various causes. Yet this situation has put their public image in a challenging position. The court of public opinion is divided. Some fans defend them, insisting they have every right to protect their privacy and dignity. Others argue that their influence and legal might are being misused against smaller voices trying to discuss matters of public interest. Social media has exploded with reactions. Hashtags like "Justice for Creators" and "Hollywood Silencing" are trending across platforms. Influencers are making videos breaking down legal jargon, explaining what fair use really means, and questioning whether this legal fight is a one-off incident or part of a growing pattern in the industry. As more lawyers join the discussion, some are calling for reforms to protect digital content creators from what they describe as strategic lawsuits designed to censor public discourse. These slap suits, or strategic lawsuits against public participation, are a growing concern in media circles, and this case has only heightened awareness as the legal story gained traction. The shift from silence to resistance began to take shape. Content creators who once hesitated to speak now started to raise their voices. The legal notices, which initially appeared as warning shots, became fuel for a much bigger conversation about freedom of expression in the digital age. One of the first to step forward was a mid-sized legal YouTuber whose channel had covered the Blake Lively case in great detail. After receiving a formal warning from the couple's legal team, this creator went public, showing the language of the notice and explaining to their audience how it attempted to limit their commentary. The transparency inspired others to follow. Soon multiple creators began to share similar experiences. Some had received cease and desist letters, while others were sent subpoenas demanding personal information related to their coverage. The pattern was becoming clear to many in the community, and the concern was not just about one legal case but a perceived attempt to suppress online speech. Through legal pressure, at the center of the storm stood the legal representatives for Blake and Ryan. Their silence in public contrasted sharply with their aggressive behind-the-scenes legal strategy. Commentators on legal forums questioned whether their actions aligned with the couple's public image as supportive, inclusive, and socially aware. Many found the contrast difficult to reconcile. News outlets started to pick up the story, with headlines pointing to the legal chill spreading across the creator landscape. Stories appeared in digital magazines, legal blogs, and podcasts covering digital rights. Many called it a pivotal moment in the relationship between traditional celebrity power and the new age of decentralized digital commentary. Meanwhile, the creators themselves began forming loose alliances, supporting each other publicly and behind the scenes in group chats and online forums. Discussions about how to defend against powerful legal teams became a regular occurrence. Lawyers working pro bono or through digital rights groups began to offer support, filing counterclaims and seeking legal clarity. This unity among independent voices created an unexpected result. Instead of silencing the conversation, it amplified it. Audiences previously unaware of the original controversy became interested in the growing fight for creator rights. More channels joined the story, not only analyzing the legal case itself but questioning broader themes like censorship, media control, and corporate influence over public discourse. Behind the scenes, some legal experts believe the backlash may have triggered internal concern within the legal teams representing Blake and Ryan. Though no formal statement has been issued, close sources suggest that damage control is now in motion and advisors are reviewing all public-facing actions. The pressure is not only legal but reputational. While Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds remain beloved by many, the ongoing headlines about silencing creators are beginning to affect how some fans view their involvement. As public figures, every move is magnified and the current atmosphere leaves little room for missteps. As more information surfaced about the ongoing legal saga involving Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, public interest only continued to grow. What began as a seemingly private legal matter had now spilled into the open, with high-profile attorneys, media outlets, and creators all weighing in on what some are now calling a defining case for digital rights and celebrity influence. The third chapter in this story begins with a striking new development. Lawyers representing multiple content creators came forward with statements that accused the Hollywood power couple of attempting to silence critical voices. According to these lawyers, the tactics used by Blake and Ryan's legal team went far beyond standard legal protections and instead veered into what some described as intimidation and suppression. One particular attorney representing a group of small independent YouTube creators held a press conference outlining what he called a pattern of excessive legal pressure. He claimed that his clients were served with vague and overly broad legal notices, demanding takedowns and retractions without clearly outlining the supposed offenses. This tactic, he argued, was designed not to seek justice but to scare creators into silence. The accusation quickly became a flashpoint for media coverage. The press began to draw parallels between this case and previous instances where celebrities or powerful entities had been accused of using their influence to stifle criticism. These comparisons added weight to the narrative and intensified public scrutiny around Blake and Ryan. Social media played a major role during this phase. Twitter threads and YouTube analysis videos popped up dissecting every line of the legal documents. Public figures, including some in the entertainment industry, voiced their opinions. Some sided with the creators, asserting that freedom of speech must be protected even when it comes to discussing public figures. Others defended Blake and Ryan, arguing that they were simply defending their reputations from what they saw as harmful misinformation. Interestingly, the legal battle also sparked a broader cultural debate about the boundaries of criticism and the responsibility of public figures. With the rise of digital platforms, anyone can now become a commentator or journalist. This has created a complex legal gray area where free expression and personal privacy often clash. The Blake and Ryan case has become a symbol of this new tension. Creators who had once hesitated to speak out now found a cause they could rally behind. They saw the actions of Blake and Ryan's team as part of a larger problem, one that affects many creators across platforms. The support for these creators grew not just from their followers, but from civil rights organizations who began issuing statements on the importance of protecting independent commentary. The narrative shifted once again when new evidence was submitted in court showing that several of the legal notices issued by the couple's legal team had contained inaccuracies and possibly exaggerated claims about the reach and content of the targeted videos. This revelation led to more questions about the real motives behind the legal campaign. At the heart of the storm, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds maintained a low public profile while their representatives issued occasional statements defending their actions. The couple themselves remained silent. This silence was interpreted in many ways. Some saw it as a dignified refusal to engage with drama. Others viewed it as a sign that they were feeling the pressure and unsure how to respond. Behind the scenes, legal teams on both sides were reportedly holding emergency meetings, crafting new strategies, and deciding whether to escalate the case or consider settlement options. There were rumors that influential legal advisors had recommended scaling back and possibly issuing clarifications or retractions to prevent further damage to Blake and Ryan's public image. The case had grown beyond a simple legal dispute. It had become a media event, a legal benchmark, and a public conversation about celebrity power and creator rights. The third chapter of this evolving drama showcased not only the complexity of the legal system but also the growing influence of digital voices who refused to be silenced even when facing immense pressure. from some of Hollywood's biggest names as the legal controversy surrounding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds deepened, a noticeable shift began to take place within the broader entertainment and media landscape. Influencers, legal analysts, and civil rights advocates now stood firmly at the center of the conversation, forcing the public to re-examine the boundaries of free expression, the limits of celebrity privacy, and the true weight of digital influence in shaping modern narratives. This chapter opened with an explosive filing from a coalition of attorneys representing a diverse group of content creators. They accused the Hollywood couple's legal team of waging a campaign not of justice but of suppression, according to their complaint. The legal notices sent to these creators lacked clarity, context, and in some cases even factual basis. Instead, they relied on intimidation, hoping creators would remove content out of fear rather than legal obligation. These claims found traction almost immediately. Legal forums erupted, with discussions dissecting the language used in the notices, pointing out that some demands appeared to be generic copy pasted text used across multiple creators regardless of the specific content of their videos. This sparked further outrage among online communities who viewed the approach as carelessly broad and likely targeted at silencing criticism rather than addressing genuine defamation. Blake and Ryan's silence remained consistent and intentional. Their lawyers released short statements defending their rights as private citizens and reiterating their commitment to protecting their families from what they described as invasive and damaging narratives. However, public skepticism began to grow, especially as more creators started stepping forward with similar stories. One particularly compelling moment came when a well-respected YouTube legal analyst posted a full breakdown of the cease and desist letters he had received from the couple's team with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. His video reached a wide audience. He calmly outlined how the language in the notice was vague and overly aggressive, lacking direct citations and legal grounding. He ended his video by stating he would not be backing down and invited legal dialogue rather than fear-based compliance. The video went viral within hours, prompting mainstream news outlets to pick up the story. This only added more pressure on Blake and Ryan, who were now facing questions not only from internet personalities, but from journalists representing major networks and newspapers. Suddenly, what had been a contained legal strategy became a national discussion about power, responsibility, and transparency. Social media once again became the primary battlefield. Hashtags like creator rights and Stop Silencingoses began trending across platforms. Public sentiment was split, but the majority leaned toward defending independent creators and calling for accountability from celebrities who engage in legal strong-arming. Amid the digital uproar, legal experts on cable news programs began offering their interpretations. Many echoed the concerns raised by creators, emphasizing that while celebrities have every right to defend themselves against false claims, they must do so within the ethical boundaries of the legal system. Overreaching demands, especially when aimed at non-commercial commentary or satire, are often seen as legal bullying and can backfire both in court and in the court of public opinion. Meanwhile, internal sources close to Blake and Ryan suggested that the couple was feeling cornered. Despite their initial confidence, the widespread backlash and growing chorus of critical voices reportedly caught them off guard. Several public relations experts were brought in to assess the damage and advise on next steps, which included the possibility of offering a public clarification or even a formal apology to some creators. But the decision was not easy. Offering a public apology could be interpreted as an admission of guilt, while doubling down could intensify the backlash. The couple now stood at a crossroads where every move carried the risk of further inflaming the situation or undermining their credibility. It becomes clear that this legal war had transformed into a broader cultural reckoning. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, two of Hollywood's most admired personalities, now found themselves facing a wave of resistance, not just from legal experts but from a growing digital community that refused to be silenced. The question remained: would they adapt or would they push forward into even murkier legal territory? The controversy that started as a legal maneuver by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds had now erupted into a full-scale media and cultural flashpoint. As more people joined the conversation, the tone began to shift from defense and outrage to resilience and strategy. The creators, who had once felt threatened, were now organizing, uniting, and pushing back with a level of coordination and confidence never before seen in Hollywood versus content creator conflicts. By the beginning of this chapter, the legal community had become fully engaged. Multiple law firms across the United States and even abroad began offering pro bono support to smaller creators, citing the importance of defending fair use and freedom of expression. They recognized that If major celebrities could leverage their wealth and influence to silence criticism, the precedent it would set could be dangerous for all online commentators, some of the most influential legal voices in the digital space.